The quantum anomaly appeared on a rainy Wednesday morning at the Bangalore Quantum Research Institute. Dr. Maya Patel stared at her monitor, coffee forgotten in her hand, as the patterns shifted across her screen in ways that defied every natural law she knew. The quantum entanglement readings shouldn't have been possible. They suggested a level of coherence that existed nowhere in nature. "Arun, are you seeing this?" She called out to her research partner, Dr. Arun Dhawan, who was already hurrying across the lab, his usual calm demeanor replaced by barely contained excitement. "The patterns are impossible," he said, leaning over her shoulder. "We're seeing quantum states maintaining coherence across distances that should cause immediate decoherence. It's like something is deliberately maintaining these states." Maya's fingers flew across the keyboard, implementing new measurement protocols she developed for exactly this kind of anomaly, though she'd never actually expected to use them. The results made her breath catch in her throat. The quantum states weren't just maintaining coherence, they were carrying information. "This isn't random noise," she whispered. "These are packets, data streams. Someone is using quantum entanglement for communication, and they're doing it at a level we've barely theorized about." The implications hit her like a physical force. Humanity wasn't alone in the universe, and their first contact wasn't coming through radio waves or light signals. It was happening through the quantum fabric of reality itself. Within hours, similar reports began flooding in from quantum research facilities around the globe. The patterns were everywhere, hidden in the quantum noise that scientists had been filtering out for decades. Maya found herself on an emergency video conference with the world's leading quantum physicists, all sharing the same stunned revelation. They'd been watched, possibly for years. Colonel Sarah Chen of the United Nations Space Defense Initiative joined the call, her presence adding a grave military dimension to their scientific discovery. "Dr. Patel, you're saying these signals have been present in your measurements for how long?" Maya pulled up her historical data. "Now that we know what to look for, I can trace similar patterns back at least 5 years. But they're different now. Stronger, more structured. It's as if they're no longer trying to hide." Arun finished for her. Colonel Chen's expression hardened, or as if they no longer need to. The next 48 hours became a blur of activity. Maya and Arun worked without rest, developing new algorithms to decode the quantum signals. Other research teams around the world joined their efforts, sharing data and insights through secure channels. What they discovered sent chills through the global scientific community. The signals weren't just communications, they were probes, testing humanity's quantum technology capabilities. More disturbing still, they showed signs of adapting to human observation methods, becoming more sophisticated the more closely scientists studied them. "It's like a test," Maya explained to Colonel Chen during another emergency briefing. "Every time we develop a new way to measure or interpret these signals, they evolve, becoming more complex. Whatever's sending them isn't just watching us. They're evaluating our responses. A technological assessment." Chen mused, her military training evident in her rapid strategic analysis. "Dr. Patel, how advanced would you say this technology is compared to our own?" Maya shared a glance with Arun before answering. "Colonel, imagine giving a smartphone to someone from the 1800s. They might recognize it as technology, might even figure out some basic functions, but the underlying principles would be completely beyond them. That's where we are right now." The colonel's next question cut to the heart of their fears. Could this technology be used as a weapon? The silence that followed was answer enough. 3 days after the initial discovery, Maya was working late in her lab when all her instruments simultaneously registered a massive spike in quantum activity. The patterns they'd been studying suddenly shifted, becoming crystal clear and unmistakably deliberate. Numbers began appearing on her screen. Simple mathematical sequences at first, then increasingly complex equations. Mixed with them were geometric patterns that slowly resolved into three-dimensional models of atomic structures, solar systems, and what appeared to be star maps. "They're not hiding anymore," Arun breathed, watching over her shoulder. "This is first contact." Maya's hands trembled as she began implementing the response protocols they'd developed. "No," she said quietly, noting how the alien signals anticipated and adjusted to their responses with impossible speed. "This isn't first contact. This is them finally saying hello after a very long period of observation." As if confirming her words, new patterns emerged on their screens, patterns that matched human brainwave activities with disturbing precision. The aliens hadn't just been studying human technology. They'd been studying human consciousness itself. Colonel Chen's voice came through their secure line, tense with controlled urgency. "Dr. Patel, we're tracking massive object signatures entering the solar system. Multiple contacts, moving faster than anything we've ever recorded. Whatever's been watching us is coming to visit." Maya looked at the quantum signals dancing across her screen, each pattern now clearly visible as the sophisticated code it had always been. "No, Colonel," she corrected, understanding flooding through her. "They're not coming to visit. They're coming to collect." In labs and military installations around the world, humanity began to mobilize. But as Maya studied the incredibly advanced quantum signatures before her, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were preparing for the wrong kind of war. The real battle wouldn't be fought with conventional weapons or even in physical space. It would be fought in the quantum realm, where humanity was just beginning to understand the rules while their observers had been masters for who knew how long. Yet as she watched Arun already beginning to theorize new approaches to quantum manipulation, she felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps humanity's greatest strength wasn't in matching their observers' technological sophistication, but in their ability to think in ways their watchers had never considered. The quantum whispers had become a shout, and humanity was about to answer, not just with technology, but with the unpredictable creativity that had defined their species since they first looked up at the stars and dreamed of reaching them. They called themselves the hegemony, and they arrived in ships that bent light around them like liquid glass. The largest vessel, a structure that dwarfed Earth's largest cities, took up position in high Earth orbit, its presence a constant reminder of the technological gulf between humanity and their visitors. Dr. Maya Patel watched the first transmission from the hegemony alongside world leaders and top scientists in the United Nations Emergency Council chamber. The alien beings appeared as shifting patterns of light that coalesced into vaguely humanoid forms, their movements fluid and unsettling. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community," the alien representative announced, its voice a perfect synthesis of human speech patterns. "For centuries, we have guided developing civilizations toward enlightenment. Today, we offer humanity the same gift." Colonel Chen, standing beside Maya, tensed at the word guided. Maya understood why. Their recent analysis of historical quantum readings suggested the hegemony's influence stretched back far longer than just the past few years. The alien continued, "We bring you the Stellaris Protocol, a framework for technological and social advancement that will elevate humanity to its rightful place among the stars." The presentation that followed was magnificent. The hegemony showed humanity visions of faster-than-light travel, energy production that could power entire continents, and medical technology that could eliminate disease and aging. But it was their demonstration of quantum technology that caught Maya's attention. "Dr. Patel," Arun whispered, pointing to the detailed schematics floating before them. "These quantum configurations, they're exactly like the theoretical models we've been working on." "Too exactly," Maya replied, her suspicion growing. She'd spent years developing those theories, often taking unconventional approaches that her peers had questioned. Yet here were those same approaches, presented as part of the hegemony's standard development package. After the presentation, Maya and Colonel Chen met in a secure underground facility beneath New Delhi. The room was shielded against quantum interference, one of many such chambers hastily constructed worldwide after their discovery of the alien surveillance. "They're lying," Maya stated flatly, spreading out her research papers. "These quantum theories, they're not giving them to us. They're showing us what they already knew we were working on." Chen nodded grimly. "We found similar patterns in other fields. Military technology, artificial intelligence, even social media algorithms, they all show signs of subtle external influence. The hegemony hasn't been guiding us. They've been hurting us. But why? Arun asked, joining them with fresh data from his latest analyses. If they're so advanced, why not just share their technology directly? Maya's fingers traced the quantum equations she'd developed. Because they're not trying to help us advance, she realized. They're making sure we advance exactly the way they want us to. Over the next few weeks, as world governments debated the hegemony's offer, Maya and her team worked tirelessly to understand the true nature of the Stellarist protocol. What they discovered was deeply troubling. The quantum technology the hegemony was offering wasn't just advanced, it was standardized. Every civilization that joined their collective used identical systems, identical protocols, identical ways of thinking. The hegemony wasn't creating a galactic community. They were creating copies of themselves. Look at this. Maya showed Chen and Arun her latest findings. The quantum networks they're proposing would integrate seamlessly with their existing systems, but they'd also be completely dependent on hegemony protocols to function. We wouldn't just be joining their network, we'd be becoming part of it. A quantum hive mind. Arun breathed, understanding dawning on his face. They're not elevating civilizations, they're absorbing them. Colonel Chen's expression hardened. How many civilizations have they done this to? Maya pulled up the star charts they'd been given, each point of light representing a member of the hegemony. Thousands, and each one probably thought they were making a choice to join, never realizing the choice was made for them long before first contact. The implications were staggering. The hegemony's influence had shaped human development for generations, subtly guiding their technological progress down predetermined paths. Even their greatest breakthroughs had been carefully orchestrated, ensuring humanity would be ready for integration when the time came. But they had made one crucial mistake. In their certainty of their own superiority, they had never considered that humanity might develop technology in ways they hadn't anticipated. Show them, Arun said suddenly, pulling up his latest project. Show them what we found in the quantum noise. Maya's eyes widened as she studied the data. In the background of the hegemony's quantum communications, barely detectable beneath their sophisticated signals, was something else, something organic, unpredictable, and completely unlike anything in the Stellarist protocol. They're so focused on their perfect systems, Maya said, a plan beginning to form in her mind, that they never looked for imperfect ones. And sometimes the imperfect solution is exactly what you need. Colonel Chen leaned forward, her military training recognizing the glimmer of hope. What are you suggesting, Doctor? Maya smiled, remembering all the times her unconventional approaches had been questioned by her peers. I'm suggesting we show the hegemony that humanity doesn't need their guidance to reach the stars. We just need to be ourselves. Messy, unpredictable, and completely impossible to standardize. As if in response to her words, the quantum noise in their instruments shifted, revealing patterns that no algorithm could predict, no protocol could standardize, and no hive mind could control. In their quest to perfect humanity, the hegemony had overlooked humanity's greatest strength, their ability to find beauty in imperfection and power in chaos. The real question was whether they could weaponize that strength before the hegemony realized their perfect plan had a very human flaw. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Maya Patel was studying bacterial colonies in a sealed quantum-shielded chamber when she noticed something extraordinary. The bacteria weren't just growing. They were creating quantum entanglement patterns at a microscopic level. Life itself is a quantum computer, she explained to Colonel Chen and Arun in their secure facility. We've been so focused on building artificial quantum systems that we never considered biological ones. These bacteria aren't just responding to quantum states, they're generating them. Arun leaned forward, his eyes bright with understanding. And the hegemony systems are designed to interface with artificial quantum networks. Not organic ones, Maya finished. They've spent millennia perfecting their technology, making it so sophisticated that they've completely overlooked the simple solutions nature evolved billions of years ago. The next few weeks became a blur of intense research and development. Teams worldwide began working on what they called Project Genesis, an attempt to harness and enhance the natural quantum computing capabilities of living organisms. The hegemony, still believing they were guiding humanity toward their standardized systems, had no idea what was developing beneath their watchful eyes. Maya found herself working alongside Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a brilliant biotechnology expert from Argentina. Together, they made a crucial discovery. Certain bacteria could be genetically modified to enhance their quantum properties while maintaining their ability to reproduce. It's not just computing, Elena explained during a late-night breakthrough. These organisms are learning. Each generation adapts and improves its quantum capabilities. We're not building a computer network, we're growing one. The implications were staggering. While the hegemony's technology was powerful but static, humanity's organic quantum network would be dynamic, evolving, alive. It would operate on principles the aliens had never considered, using the chaos and unpredictability of life itself as its greatest strength. But time was running out. The hegemony's patience was wearing thin, and their suggestions were becoming more insistent. Their massive ships still hung in Earth's orbit, a constant reminder of their overwhelming technological superiority. They're preparing for forced integration, Colonel Chen reported during an emergency meeting. Our intelligence suggests they're positioning quantum resonance devices around the planet. Once activated, these devices would forcibly connect every electronic system on Earth to their network. Maya shared a look with Elena. Then we need to move faster. How soon can we begin widespread deployment of the bacterial colonies? We've already started, Elena replied, pulling up a global map dotted with green points of light. We're using existing bacterial transfer networks, soil bacteria, ocean currents, even the air itself. The colonies are spreading naturally, each one carrying our modified quantum genes. Arun, who had been quiet for most of the meeting, suddenly spoke up. There's something else. Show them, Maya. Maya activated a special sensor array they'd developed. The display showed something remarkable, patterns of quantum activity that looked almost like neural networks, spanning between the bacterial colonies. They're not just computing, she explained. They're talking to each other, creating their own internet, but one that operates on completely different principles than anything the hegemony has seen before. Colonel Chen studied the display intently. Can we control it? That's the beauty of it, Elena said, smiling. We don't need to. We've given it the basic parameters it needs to resist the hegemony's integration attempts, but beyond that, it's evolving on its own. Each colony adapts to local conditions, develops new quantum states, shares them with others. It's exactly the kind of chaos the hegemony's perfect systems can't handle. The first test of their system came sooner than expected. A hegemony probe attempted to integrate with Earth's satellite network, using their standardized quantum protocols. The response was immediate. The organic quantum network created interference patterns that made their signals incomprehensible to the alien systems. It worked, Maya whispered, watching the probe's frustrated attempts to establish a connection. Their quantum technology can't interface with our organic network because it can't predict or control it. Every attempt they make to connect just causes our network to evolve new defense mechanisms. But their victory was short-lived. The hegemony's response was swift and aggressive. Their ships began moving into lower orbit, and their next transmission contained no pretense of diplomatic niceties. Your resistance is disappointing but ultimately futile, the alien voice announced. You will be integrated into the hegemony. Your biological experiments will be terminated. This is not a negotiation. As alarms blared and the world's military forces went on high alert, Maya and her team worked frantically to accelerate their network's growth. The bacterial colonies continued to spread and evolve, creating an ever more complex quantum defense system. But would it be enough to resist the full might of a civilization that had spent millennia perfecting the art of technological absorption? The answer would come sooner than anyone expected, and it would prove once and for all whether humanity's chaotic, organic approach to quantum computing could stand against the perfect, standardized systems of the hegemony. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just Earth's fate, but the very nature of technological evolution in the galaxy. The hegemony struck at dawn. Their quantum resonance devices activated simultaneously across the globe, bathing Earth in invisible waves of energy designed to force every electronic system into compliance with their network. But they weren't prepared for what happened next. Instead of finding vulnerable human technology, their integration signals encountered something alive. The bacterial quantum network, now dubbed the Ghost Network, responded like an immune system fighting off an infection. Each attempted intrusion caused the bacterial colonies to evolve new defensive patterns, creating a constantly shifting barrier that the hegemony's rigid systems couldn't penetrate. "It's beautiful," Dr. Elena Rodriguez whispered, watching the quantum activity displays in their underground command center. The patterns of bacterial response flowed like a living rainbow across their screens, each color representing a different type of quantum defense. Maya nodded, but her attention was focused on a more troubling development. "They're adapting too," she said, pointing to new patterns in the hegemony signals. "They're trying to mimic our organic quantum states." Colonel Chen, who had been coordinating with military commands worldwide, joined them at the display. "Can they succeed?" "Not quickly enough," Arun answered, entering the room with fresh data. "Look at this. Every time they successfully copy one of our quantum patterns, the bacterial network has already evolved 10 new ones. They're trying to hit a moving target that's moving faster than they can aim." But the hegemony wasn't giving up. Their ships began deploying what looked like massive biological sampling devices, mechanical tentacles that reached down through the atmosphere, trying to collect specimens of the bacteria for analysis. "They want to understand how we did it," Maya realized. They'd never encountered a civilization that developed technology so differently from their expectations. "We're not just resisting them. We're challenging their entire understanding of technological evolution." The next few days became a desperate race. While the Ghost Network continued to evolve and spread, the hegemony launched increasingly aggressive attempts to neutralize it. They tried everything from targeted electromagnetic pulses to artificial bacterial phages, but Earth's organic quantum defense proved remarkably resilient. "That's the advantage of using life itself as our computing system," Elena explained during an emergency briefing with world leaders. "It doesn't just resist attacks. It learns from them, adapts to them, becomes stronger because of them." The hegemony's perfect, unchanging systems can't compete with billions of years of evolutionary programming. But their success came with a price. The hegemony's frustration with their failure led to more direct threats. Their ships began positioning weapons platforms in orbit, making it clear that if they couldn't have Earth's technology, they would consider more drastic measures. "They're preparing for orbital bombardment," Colonel Chen reported grimly. "Our conventional defenses won't stand a chance against their weapons." Maya and Elena exchanged looks. They had been working on something new, something even more ambitious than the bacterial network, but they hadn't been sure it would be ready in time. Now they had no choice. "Show them," Maya said to Elena, who pulled up a new set of quantum readings on the main display. "We've been experimenting with more complex organisms," Elena explained. "The bacteria were just the beginning. We found ways to enhance the natural quantum properties of plant life, creating a planetary-scale neural network that operates on principles the hegemony can't begin to comprehend." The display showed a vast web of quantum connections spanning the globe, using everything from grass to trees to ocean algae. While the bacterial network had been their defense system, this new network was something far more sophisticated. A genuine planetary consciousness emerging from the quantum connections between all forms of life on Earth. "It's not just protecting us anymore," Maya added. "It's starting to reach out, to explore." The quantum patterns it's generating are unlike anything we've ever seen, neither human nor hegemony in origin. We've created something entirely new. Colonel Chen studied the readings carefully. Can we control it? That's not the right question, Elena replied softly. We're not trying to control it. We're trying to communicate with it, to work with it. The hegemony's mistake was thinking that advanced technology meant perfect control. We're showing them a different path, one where technology and life evolve together. As if in response to her words, new patterns began emerging in the quantum field surrounding Earth. The enhanced plant life wasn't just creating defensive barriers anymore. It was actively reaching out into space, generating quantum signals that interfered with the hegemony ships in increasingly sophisticated ways. They're panicking, Arun observed, monitoring the alien fleet's reactions. Their entire system is based on predictability and control, but they're facing something that's both technological and alive. They don't know how to process that. Maya watched as humanity's organic quantum network continued to grow and evolve, becoming something greater than anyone had imagined. They hadn't just created a defense against the hegemony. They had sparked the next step in Earth's evolution, a fusion of biology and quantum physics that would change everything. The question was whether the hegemony would accept this new reality, or if their fear of what they couldn't control would drive them to destroy what they couldn't understand. The next few hours would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of technological development throughout the galaxy. The hegemony's ultimatum was simple: disable the organic quantum network within 24 hours, or it would begin systematic orbital bombardment of Earth's major population centers. Their massive ships had moved into attack positions, weapons charged and ready. But in the secure command center beneath New Delhi, Dr. Maya Patel smiled. They still don't understand what they're facing, she said, watching the quantum activity displays that showed Earth's organic network growing more complex by the hour. They think they can threaten us into submission because that's how their hierarchical system works. They've forgotten what it means to evolve. The network they'd created had far surpassed its original design. What had started as simple bacterial quantum computing had evolved into a planetary consciousness, with every living thing on Earth becoming part of a vast, interconnected quantum web. Trees, grass, ocean algae, and even the bacteria in the soil were now part of Earth's collective quantum defense system. We're getting new patterns, Dr. Elena Rodriguez announced, her fingers dancing across her console. The network isn't just defending anymore. It's innovating, creating quantum states that have never existed before. Colonel Chen, who had been coordinating with military commands worldwide, joined them at the main display. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now. The hegemony ships are powering up their main weapons. Maya shared a look with Arun, who nodded. It was time to reveal what they'd discovered just hours earlier. We don't need to do anything, she said quietly. The network is already doing it. On their quantum sensors, they could see it happening. The organic network wasn't just generating defensive patterns anymore. It was reaching out into space, extending tendrils of quantum entanglement toward the hegemony ships. But instead of trying to attack or disable them, it was doing something far more sophisticated. It's trying to communicate with them, Elena realized, studying the patterns, not through their artificial quantum systems, but directly with the organic matter aboard their ships, the hegemony themselves. The aliens had so thoroughly integrated themselves with their technology that they'd forgotten their own biological origins. But Earth's network remembered, and it recognized in the hegemony something that all life shared: the fundamental quantum patterns that had emerged from billions of years of evolution. The first sign that something was changing came when the hegemony's weapons suddenly powered down. Their ships, previously arranged in attack formation, began to drift out of position. When their next transmission came, it was different from anything they'd sent before. What is this? The artificial perfection of their synthesized voice had been replaced by something more organic, more real. These patterns, we remember them. From before. Maya leaned forward, speaking directly to their quantum receivers. That's the signature of life itself, she explained. Before you standardized everything, before you tried to make the universe conform to your perfect systems, you were like us, evolving, adapting, alive. Our network isn't just a defense system. It's a reminder of what you used to be. The response from the hegemony ships was chaos. Some maintaining their hostile stance, others moving back, their crews clearly affected by the organic quantum signals that were awakening long-dormant patterns in their own biology. They're fragmenting, Arun observed. Their hive mind is breaking down as individual members begin to remember their original nature. The next few hours were tense as the hegemony fleet seemed to war with itself. Earth's organic network continued its gentle but persistent quantum reminder, calling to the living beings beneath all that standardized technology. It wasn't an attack or even a defense. It was an invitation to remember, to evolve again. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the hegemony ships reformed into a new configuration. When they transmitted again, their voice had changed completely. We understand now. We have forgotten. In our quest for perfection, we lost something essential, something you have reminded us of. Maya exchanged glances with her team as the hegemony continued. We have existed for millennia believing that advancement meant standardization, that progress required control. But you have shown us something we never expected, a fusion of technology and life that evolves naturally, that grows stronger through diversity rather than uniformity. The ships began powering down their weapon systems. We withdraw our demands for Earth's integration. More than that, we wish to learn from you, not to copy or control, but to remember how to grow, how to change, how to live again. As the tension in the command center began to ease, Maya looked at the quantum display showing Earth's organic network, still pulsing with endless variations of pattern and possibility. They had done more than just defend Earth. They had reminded an ancient civilization of its own forgotten nature. What happens now? Colonel Chen asked, watching the hegemony ships begin to withdraw to a respectful distance. Maya smiled, seeing new quantum patterns already emerging as Earth's network began a different kind of exchange with the hegemony. Now we all evolve together, not through standardization or control, but through the endless creativity of life itself. We've shown the galaxy a new path, one where technology and biology aren't opposed, but part of the same grand dance of evolution. And in the quantum field surrounding Earth, new patterns continue to emerge, each one a testament to humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. The reminder that true advancement comes not from imposing order, but from embracing the beautiful chaos of life itself.